I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, May the 2nd, where guys that have fat cattle to sell this week and probably all month are looking at a basis jackpot, as the board is just lagging so far behind what your fat cattle market is, and still no sign of when those big supplies of market ready cattle are going to be showing up. It doesn't appear to be this week, and then your board was down again on Tuesday with now we're looking at a $20 plus basis to your practical top of 126 in the northern plains, about an $18 basis to what last week's weighted average on your live fat cattle trade was, and then evidently that 121 for out front purchases, probably 2 to 4 weeks out, is off from 121 down to 118, but still that's a $12 basis if you want to take that and go ahead and get out. We saw a few pens of Kansas cattle sell that way on Tuesday, and in the northern plains it's better than that, from 120 to 122, and word is out there that steady money is available. If you'd accept steady money, they would see about getting it, and that's probably going to be where we're at. And I think your cash market continues to make a good stand, as the board's wanting to tank some more, but it just, it can't hardly do it any more than a $20 gap between what your top of your cash market is and where your board's at. But you look at the board on Tuesday, June live cattle futures down 27 cents on the close at 105.82. August was down 45 cents at 104.07. Part of the reason that your live cattle board was down is it's kind of in vogue now to strike if you're not happy with what you're getting paid, and supposedly there's a labor dispute in a Nebraska packing plant, and it did have abrupted slaughter early this week, but it looks like they're going to have that thing all straightened out. And so I would look for the board to be up on Wednesday, and plus it just can't stave off getting any more of a basis gap than what it's already had, and it doesn't appear that your fats are ready to fall on the cash market. So I would imagine we're going to see a Wednesday rebound in the board. We're going to see some big Wednesday feeder cattle auctions sell higher again, and we're going to continue this week just like we have the last 3 or 4 weeks, with a big head of steam going into the last half of the week. We'll get some late week fat cattle trade that's going to be at least steady or higher again, and we're going to keep pounding at this wall of cattle that's supposedly there that we can't see, and probably get through them. Your August feeder cattle board down 272 at 143.47, and that's the best argument for a board rebound on Wednesday, as it was down hard on your feeder cattle both Monday and Tuesday. Well, it's going to bounce right back then. May not get it all back, but it's going to come back pretty strong on Wednesday, you would assume. May feeder cattle down 227 at 137.90. Your fats that haven't had hardly any trade, but I did mention we've had some 118 trade in Kansas. That would be out front. Be still a pretty good deal with that big basis you could put in your pocket for that. We have seen some about 2,000 head sell in Iowa, and that was on Tuesday morning, and a lot of that kind of cleanup trade from last week at 195 dressed, but did see some live sales, and not sure how far out front the delivery on those is, but from 120 to 122. We've got about 3,000 head on the Fed Cattle Exchange, and we might have finally brought some of these packers to their milk, wanting to buy some of those cattle on the Fed Cattle Exchange. All the cattle that are listed on there are for current delivery within 9 days, and all of them out of Kansas and mostly Nebraska. So we'll see if we can get them fired up this week. But box beef cutout values were sharply higher on Tuesday, as the weather is starting to straighten up quickly all over the nation, and it's getting to be grilling time. But you look at some feeder cattle markets. OKC West On Wednesday had 25, or Tuesday had 2,500 head for your calf sale, $1 to $3 higher, and a light comparable test, but no lower, and a good market there on calves. Although it's just getting to the time of the year where more and more of those are softer calves. We don't have as many of those old crop or calf weight yearlings that you might see. Those have already been pretty much scarfed up and for turnout on grass. But Ozarks Regional Stockyards, West Plains, Missouri, 4,500 head, and a good run there. Market there was kind of uneven, actually better on heifers and not quite as good on steers. But good sale in Loop City, Nebraska, 2,000 head there, and you look on Cattle Market Central and you see all these strings that are listed that come through the automated system at Loop City there, including 167 head of 811 pound steers at $1.40. Go out west a little further, and Riverton, Wyoming at 68 head of 702 pound stocker type steers at $164.50. And I tell you what, out east, it's getting to be the time of the year where they're pulling in even. They're not worried about the hair, and they're not worried about the quality. Not to say that you can't get both out east, but you're just starting to get more orders pour in for those cattle, especially yearling cattle out in Kentucky, Tennessee, places like that, because that is one place you can get some green yearlings out there. You come out into the plains in the Midwest and everything's going to be supplementally fed. But you can get green yearlings out east there, and then bluegrass stockyards in Lexington, Kentucky, 61 head of 794 pound steers bring $141. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.